Hey guys, welcome back to Flicks Recap. I'm Luke, and today we're covering the 2021 romantic comedy The Hating Game. Before we start, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to Flicks Recap if you dig the breakdown. And as a quick reminder, this video contains spoilers, so you have been warned. The story begins when Gaiman, a book publishing company, merges with Bexley Books in the hopes that they're saved from bankruptcy. Gaiman believes in literature as an art form, whereas Bexley Books would rather publish ghost-written autobiographies that bring in the big bucks. The merger brings together staff from the two different companies, each with its unique corporate culture. The staff at Gaiman Publishing are kinder and more open-minded, whereas in Bexley they're more rigid, with cold personalities. The merger brings the workaholic lives of Lucy and Josh together. Lucy is a Gaiman diehard, more easygoing, friendly, and fashionable. Josh is a control freak, a perfectionist who never smiles, even when Lucy gifts him with a welcome desk plant. Josh also color codes his shirts according to the days of the week. That's how much of a control freak he is. They share an office space, seemingly smaller because their rivalry is through the roof. Lucy and Josh taunt each other by the minute as they work opposite each other every day, with Josh mockingly calling Lucy shortcake. He enjoys correcting Lucy's every mistake, and they leave no stone unturned when roasting each other. Lucy has an idea to organize a team-building event for the office because Human Resources is receiving more complaints than usual, but Helene is skeptical about it. Most of the complaints are actually about Lucy and Josh's constant altercations. Helene and Lucy are preparing to head into a meeting, and she tells Lucy of a surprise agenda that can only be revealed at the meeting. Josh, who is also present, criticizes Lucy for being too lenient with a coworker who can't finish their work on time. Lucy's determined to have a good day as she throws jabs at Josh. Josh reports to a boss named Richard, a man inspired by profit and male success. During the meeting, Richard and Helene announce that they're opening a new position. They intend to internally hire a managing director who will oversee each department and report to both of them. Lucy and Josh are both eyeing the prestigious position, and in another heated argument, they threaten to make each other's lives a living hell. They finally have a wager that whoever doesn't get the job must resign. After the meeting, Lucy and Josh get back to their office and find Danny, their coworker. Danny hands Lucy a newly published novel by the company, but she disapproves of the artwork. He also hands her a package and accidentally blurts out that it's a miniature Smurf statue, and Josh mocks Lucy's puzzling interests and quirks. Lucy lives in a quaint space, complete with her Smurf collection. She's spending Thanksgiving alone, working on her Smurf village, despite lying to her mother about heading to a party. Her mother worries about her singlehood and suggests that she gives Josh a shot. Lucy's always talking about him anyway. When Lucy calls it a night, she has a sexy dream about Josh buttering her buns. Lucy wakes up very hot and bothered. She's annoyed that the tables have turned and vows to get back at Josh. The next day, Lucy wears a short, snug dress, red stilettos, and her killer red lipstick to match. Josh can't help but stare and is curious if she has a date later on. Desperate to keep up a live and active social life, Lucy lies that she does have a date. But Josh is doubtful. He decides he'll be at the same venue later that evening. Caught between a rock and a sword, Lucy passes by Danny's office to ask him out later that night and finds him packing his things. Turns out he's leaving to start his own company. Like the nice guy he is, he cancels his other plans and gives in to Lucy's persuasions. A happy Lucy leaves the office later and is joined by Josh in the elevator. Like clockwork, a war of words starts between them. When the intensity becomes unbearable, Josh pulls the emergency button in the lift, stopping it. He questions Lucy about the purpose of their daily quarrels. In the heat of the moment, they end up making out. From the kiss, they realize that they have a fatal attraction toward each other. They reactivate the elevator and head to the restaurant. The car ride is awkward. No one dares to address the elephant in the room. Lucy leaves in a rush after they arrive, forgetting her purse in Josh's car. The date's going well, and Lucy discovers she may have more in common with Danny than expected. While heading for a bathroom break, she runs into Josh, who's returning her purse. He's apologetic for his actions, displaying a more remorseful side than Lucy's used to, and then leaves to save himself any further embarrassment. One day, Lucy receives a bouquet of red roses. The card is unsigned and includes a sweet message. Thinking they're from Danny, she sends him a sweet message. Things are still weird between her and Josh. He's not his usual neat and uptight self. Josh calls for a truce and apologizes for the mishap. As they're figuring out the new dynamics of their work relationship, Helene stops by Lucy's desk to share the bad news that Josh's team-building proposal has been selected instead of hers, following a coin toss with Richard, leading to Josh gloating about being chosen to lead the paintballing team exercise. Josh paired everyone up for the activity, and he and Lucy are on the same team. Josh notices that Lucy appears unwell and possibly has a fever, but Lucy insists that she's fine and participates in the game. After losing, Lucy's determined to leave, but she accidentally throws up on Josh. Josh is well versed in medicine, coming from a family of doctors and having studied for a whole year. He takes Lucy home and manages her symptoms as he calls for professional help. Okay guys, quick pause to remind you to comment, like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. On with the recap. Josh calls his brother Patrick, who's a doctor, to help treat Lucy. Right before leaving Lucy's house, Patrick reminds Josh to RSVP to his wedding in which he's set to marry Mindy. Josh only offers to think about it and ushers Patrick out. He stays over at Lucy's house and cleans the apartment, despite Lucy's protesting. Although they're getting vulnerable with each other, Lucy is still on edge and not as appreciative of Josh's acts of kindness. Lucy finally resumes work at the office, and Danny's ready with a bouquet of roses and endless talk to welcome her back. He follows Lucy to the office, but she's too preoccupied with thoughts of Josh. Danny asks Lucy out to dinner later that evening in Josh's presence. To her surprise, Lucy spots a single red rose on her desk, strawberry juice, which is her go-to drink when sick, and a sweet note. It then dawns on her that the sender of the red roses was Josh. In between her daily work and preparing the interview for the new job, Lucy is determined to make it up to Josh to even the playing field. She suggests being Josh's +1 to Patrick's wedding, something that sets him off. Lucy pushes him into a storage closet. They're unable to resist the heat between them in such an enclosed space, but Josh refuses to give in, convinced that Lucy is more interested in dating Danny. Later on, while on the date with Danny, Lucy is curious if he's ever wanted to kiss her. She jumps the gun and reaches across the table to lip lock Danny. Lucy does not feel the same spark as with Josh. After the date, Lucy passes by Josh's apartment. She tries to text him, but he spots her outside when he comes back from a grocery run. One thing leads to another, and she's soon in his apartment. Much like Lucy's Smurf addiction, Josh is a collector of miniature race cars. The vibe between them is more flirtatious, and they almost take things to bed. However, when Lucy mentions that they should just bang, Josh has a change of heart, disturbed that he's reduced to a kind of one-night stand. This upsets Lucy, who's confused by Josh's mixed signals. She quickly storms out and heads home. Tension rises in the office between the two warring lovebirds in denial. Richard has big plans for Josh to get the managerial position. He introduces Josh to Simon, an influential person at a popular publishing house. Richard wants Simon to write a recommendation for Josh to boost his profile. Lucy tries to make small talk with Simon, who she fangirls over, but he doesn't take notice. Afraid that Josh will have the upper hand, she starts to call her former bosses, asking for a recommendation letter. Pushed to the edge, Lucy asks Danny to help her make some graphics for her presentation so she can ace an interview. Christmas time rolls around. Lucy's decorating her house when she receives an unexpected visitor. Josh needs company for Patrick's wedding, as Lucy promised. Lucy's hesitant, but is not one to chicken out of her word. They head out together and get to the hotel. Unfortunately, they are forced to share a room based on availability. While in the room together, Josh and Lucy are unable to resist each other and have an amorous congress, skipping dinner altogether. They head to the wedding the next morning. Lucy meets Josh's parents, and while his mother is warm and welcoming, his father is cold. During the wedding ceremony, Lucy sees Mindy for the first time walking down the aisle and is stunned by her gorgeous looks. At the reception party, Mindy approaches Lucy and makes small talk. A slip of the tongue from Mindy reveals that she dated Josh for a year before leaving him for Patrick. Josh's father is drunk, and as per routine, he reminds Josh of his shortcomings and failure to pursue a medical career like the rest of the family. Lucy walks into the dress down happening at the table, stands up to Josh's father, and does not mince her words, giving a heartfelt speech about Josh's greatness. Amazed by her gesture, Josh suggests that he and Lucy start over. A full-blown romance blossoms between Josh and Lucy, complete with sentimental gift exchanges at the office. While Lucy's placing her gift on Josh's desk, she overhears Bexley and Josh talking in the adjacent office. Bexley undermines Lucy's efforts in the workplace and believes she's not business-minded. He congratulates Josh for getting in the sack with her, and Lucy is shocked by Josh's positive response to his comment. Feeling betrayed, Lucy makes an emergency call to Danny for them to meet up at a coffee shop. While confiding in Danny, Josh shows up, asking to join in, but the cold response from Lucy tells him he's not welcome. Josh is upset because he thinks Lucy is back with Danny. During an argument, Lucy tells him about overhearing his conversation with Bexley. Josh tries to explain himself, but Lucy's convinced she's been betrayed. She throws herself into her work, preparing for her interview, which goes better than expected. Her confidence is through the roof. She even tells off her colleague who's always slacking at work. Lucy walks by the boardroom and sees the interview panel congratulating Josh on a promotion. She does the same, thinking that he's now the new manager. To her surprise, Josh introduces her to the team as the new manager. It turns out that he's been promoted to a different company. His conversation with Bexley was about his exit, and he hadn't told her anything about it because Helene had asked him not to so that Richard would not try to nominate another candidate for the position. Lucy finally understands that Josh is actually good and that it was all a misunderstanding, and they kiss, reunited at last. What instance of rivalry turned into a fatal attraction for you? Tell us your story in the comment section below. And of course, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next recap. Until next time.